figuratively, you're the biggest fan, and literally, you're the biggest fan. How did this start? Like, how did your fandom, how did that begin?
As a kid, there used to be a dollar store by my house, and as a kid, whenever my mom would need to go get stuff, they used to have a bunch of comics there. And, like, now they have, like, some, I don't want to say mediocre, but some, like, low, like, almost never heard of comics. But back in the day, they used to be really big. And my first comics were Captain America, Spider-Man, there was some X-Men, and then it wasn't until a little bit later where I started getting into DC, but I had already knew who Batman was. There was a mixture of the shows. You got the Batman, Superman animated series, the old school Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, the Saturday morning cartoons that everybody grew up with that unfortunately they canceled, I think, like a couple months ago. And
sad day.
Yeah, man, I cried, yo. And and then there's video games, that we all used to play on Super Nintendo, on the old school Nintendo. I used to have an Atari back in the day, and now my cousin has it. But the only game I remember was Pong. But I know they had other games too. And then the movies that we grew up with, the old school classic Ninja Turtles, Gremlins, all that stuff, man. And then as I got older, I think it was near the end of middle school, maybe freshman year in high school, where like there was just a bunch of new shows and stuff coming out, and I was like, man, I miss the old stuff. Whatever happened to that. I used to have tons of Ninja Turtle toys. I don't know where they are. I don't know what happened to them. I used to have a bunch of stuff and all these shows, like, we were just, I guess, transitioning, and I want to say, no offense to the parents, but some parents were sensitive about certain things, like, oh, that's too violent, this is too whatever. We need to sugarcoat it a little bit more.
It was good when it was violent.
Right. And
we turned out just fine.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
That's a big thing that I want everybody to understand. Grand Theft Auto doesn't raise kids to be, to go out about the street and go killing people. It's just a game. You have to teach your kids right from wrong.
Exactly.
So, growing up, I missed all that stuff, and there used to be a bunch of websites where, like, I would watch old intros, I'd watch, like, old commercials, and just kind of kept that fresh in my memory. And it wasn't until I think it was last year. I think it was like, when did I start totally a fan? I think it was in January or February. They started leaking out stuff for the new Ninja Turtles movies, and everybody knows I love Ninja Turtles. I in high school I was like a big ninja.
You wearing a shirt?
Yeah, man, Ninja Turtles. No, but I was like a big ninja. I was big into martial arts, and so I started posting up, like, they had the costume, I think, that came out first. Then they had, like, these statue pieces, and then they came out with, like, a poster that I think was, like, a promo for their toys or whatever. And one of my boys, he's like, hey, man, can you keep me up to date on what's going on with this? I really like the news you're giving me. At the same time, I was watching some other news. I used to watch Black Nerd Comedy. I was watching AMC News, Movie Talk, I think is what it's called. And I was like, man, I would love to be on the show, or I would love to do something like this. And it wasn't until my friend told me, hey, keep me up to date. I was like, you know what? Camera in my room, webcam, let's do it.
Because you were doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And then you just sharing it with everybody, right?
Right. Everybody in my friends list, everybody was getting news anyways. I was like, screw it, let me just do a daily video. And that's how it came to me being able to project that fandom to everybody. But it all started as a kid, man, where it all starts, man.